All right, welcome back to the show. Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell, building damage experts, every Saturday right here, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. on iHeartRadio. Thanks again for hanging out throughout the break and joining us here on this awesome show every Saturday, 2 hours here, Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell. All right, so just taking a break, or throughout the break, we're just kind of chatting about what's going on in this industry here and how folks on the I want to say in the outcry of trying to bring information to all consumers, not only in the state of Florida, about spreading our wings to other states, other places that are I don't know, we'll say that are consumer friendly. I would say the state of Florida was very consumer friendly when it had to do with disputes against our insurance carrier. As a matter of fact, since 1897, I believe I heard you say, Supreme Court case law that set the precedent for the past 130 plus years that if there was a dispute against your insurance carrier, that David had the right swords, the right ammunition against the Goliath, and the insurance companies billions of dollars and seemingly just not a worthy opponent against a consumer who's never had to deal with this. It's something that I just cannot believe that Governor DeSantis was a part of, to be honest with you, and that could have been bought and paid for to allow that major tort reform to happen here this year. I mean, we're talking about just a couple months ago, our governor put the death nail in your business and put the death nail in small claims disputes now in all facets of insurance. We talk about property a lot here, but not only he put the death nail in property back in December 16th of 2022. Yep. And then put the death nail in all other insurances. We're talking about auto. We're talking about how do I want to say life insurance. What else besides medical? Medical, yeah. And the concept we're talking about is the idea that prior to last year or this year or late last year, that if you needed to hire me to obtain your benefits for benefits they already owed you, the insurer would pay me if I could prove that they were incorrect in their claims decision or their payment decision. And the law we're talking about now is now you have to pay me out of your proceeds. You have to pay me out of proceeds that the insurer already owes you in order to collect those benefits. And that was always why it was unfair, and that's why the statute historically allowed for the recovery of the attorney's fees and costs against your own insurer. So again, now that has changed. So now if you need a new roof for $30,000 and you come to see me because they're paying you $0 and I get you the $30,000, I got to take $10,000 from you because I got to get paid. Before, the insurer used to pay me above and beyond what you were owed. And now that's been changed, which is really fundamentally changing for the consumer, how they're going to deal with their next loss. Right. I mean, and again, like I mentioned before, like mortgage companies are going to end up taking these losses. And I'm not sure why they're not up in arms about this law change. Because if you think about somebody, the average Floridian, who let's talk about folks that are on a fixed income. Let's talk about older folks, right? And they have been paying their insurance and feel like they're protected because I know exactly what my bills are every month, every year. So I know exactly what my expenditures are, and that does include your insurances, like your property insurance, your auto insurance, those types of things. And we've seen these big rate hikes that have been coming up. So there's two parts here, right? I mean, the average insurance HO3 policy is now going through the roof for a homeowner. And then so has auto, so has the other insurance companies, or other insurance products rather. And so we're waiting on that big snafu or that big snap back. But what we've seen from the media is that's still going to be another year, maybe 2 years, before the effects of these law changes actually show effect in the dropping rates of insurance premiums, which I don't think they're going to drop that much. Well, I mean, you think about it, though, back when Senate Bill 76 went through in July of 2021, they said it would take about 18 months for that to take effect and start to take effect. Right. But instead of waiting the 18 months to see what happened, they then went through 2 special sessions, another regular session, to do all the things we just talked about without giving their largest reform bill ever, Senate Bill 76 in July of 2021, a chance to work. Right. And I agree. I mean, that was a lot of anti-solicitation laws in there. There's a lot of restrictions for the contractors in there that would stop and put a hold on roofing companies and other folks going out knocking on doors and informing homeowners of their rights under their insurance policy, that you can hire me. I can not only do your estimate, I can meet with your adjuster, I can then put your roof on thereafter, and all you have to do is sign with me here. And like I was saying on the first segment, is that be wary of somebody that knocks on your door and says, "Give me your deductible up front, and I'm going to do a good job for you." Be wary of that. I'm not saying you don't have to pay your deductible, because you do, but that's the last thing you should have to do is pay your deductible. And so there are great contractors out there that'll not only give you those free estimates, but will also wait for the end for you to pay your deductible, and so see how things shake out.
Well, also, if you think about it too, if you don't use one of those types of contractors, the contractors that used to be available to you, you're writing the down payment. You're paying the progress payments. You're making all those payments along the way, not just your deductible, because now you got it. A lot of times with the insurance companies, they're going to deny your claim. You're going to have to spend the money to fix the house, then come see me to go, hey, they didn't pay my claim. I've done all the work, and then we're going to go litigate to try to get your money back. Then at that point, again, I have to take part of your proceeds just to get back money they already owed you.
Right. And what we're going to see here is that the average consumer is going to have to share their indemnity money, the money that they are owed under their policy for the repairs, valid repairs, and so that cuts out of their portion to rebuild their home. That's what I was getting back to on the mortgage companies. What if you're on a fixed budget? What if your $20,000 roof loss ends up having to go to litigation? And let's say best case scenario settles pretty quickly, or maybe a year or so, and that's still pretty quickly. And they're out. Let's even say $7-8 grand. Let's say $5 grand for lawyers, and now you have to pay experts and things like that. By the time it shakes out, let's say you have half of that. Let's say you have $10,000 to $12,000, but you don't have the rest of the money to pay for the roof. So the average person then banks that 10 grand or 12 grand and says, "Oh shoot, I'm not gonna have enough money to replace a roof." So they find somebody at a discount to repair it, so it doesn't leak anymore, and pockets the rest of the money. So what we're left with is a pitch podge repair on the roof, and not a replacement. The insurance company then, if there would ever be a future claim, would then deny any future claims because they didn't replace the roof that they end up getting paid for, but they didn't have enough money to pay for because they had to pay experts and an attorney to actually get the half portion that they actually got that only was enough to repair the roof. You know what I'm saying? So you're in this circular, just downward spiral of just no help, and you think you're covered, you think you're in good hands with your insurance company, and you find out that you have this big deficit. And how can you afford that? Because you weren't saving up for it, because you're paying your insurance and all you're saving up for is your deductible. So it's going to be a problem not only for the consumers that are on fixed budgets, it's going to be a problem for mortgage companies, it's going to be a problem for the folks here in the state of Florida, and they're going to not be happy with it in this storm season. If we have a bad hurricane season, they're going to be running up to Tallahassee with pitchforks, and they're going to be demanding change back to the way it was, because they're going to find out that their rights are restricted, that they have this dispute against their insurance company, and find out, wait, whoa. You're trying to tell me my insurance company is not working in good faith, and I can't even get them on bad faith and or file a lawsuit on them unless I'm paying for it along the way. So add insult to injury, I got to pay for you to give me the money that you're supposed to give me to begin with. That's covered under my policy of insurance. But yet, if I were a second late on paying you for my policy premium, you cut me off in a second, there's no coverage. There's a lapse. You're not covered. All these things exist. So how does this become fair in the marketplace, right? How do we feel protected as consumers paying those insurance companies? And then they're thinking, the homeowners, I can see the way they're thinking. They're saying, oh my gosh, because of all these claims that are filed, all these insurance companies are going out of business. And all of them are folding like chairs everywhere, and just going out of the state of Florida. And you're like, whoa. I mean, there's hundreds upon hundreds of registered insurance companies here in the state of Florida. So it's unfair to say that, because FedNat is now Monarch. Right, UPC is now Slide. They took all of their stuff, So I think things have moved around. So we have the same amount of insurance companies now, but people in their head are going, "I don't want to file a claim against my insurance company, or I don't want to have to file a lawsuit. I want to really give them a chance to do the right thing." So we'll talk about this and more after the break here with Contractor Talk with Richie Kidwell. We'll be right back.